is fueled like fire. So start melting, ladies, because the boy is hotter than hot. He's hot.
The Fifth Element is an iconic film. Luc Besson, Bruce Willis, Chris Tucker and Mila Jovovich in an all-star cast.
50 billion pair of ears out there. Pop it, D-man.
Hi.
Unbelievable.
And who designed the costumes? None other than Jean-Paul Gaultier. It's 1997, a year when drawings were still done with pen and paper, and also one that proved decisive for the history of fashion. Or at least that's the thesis put forward by Alexandre Samson, curator of the latest exhibition at the Palais Galliera, the fashion museum of the city of Paris.
1997 was a big bang year, a year of changes, of upheaval. In just 12 months, from October 1996, so the ready-to-wear collections in 1997, to October 97, the 98 ready-to-wear collections, there were almost 50 events. And by events, I mean collections, designs, inaugurations, deaths, film releases, new albums that became cultural cornerstones that we still refer to today.
Do you have an example?
Comme des Garçons presented their collection Body Meets Stretch, Stretch Meets Body, where clothes were stretched out of shape with these huge volumes. And that's still an obsession among young designers. It's almost incredible when you learn that Martin Margiela presented his Stockman collection, which was made on a Stockman tailoring bust and which turned the steps of creation into the final product. For both designers, those were their absolute standout collections, and they were both for the spring-summer 1997 shows.
And another example?
In terms of strong design, another example I can give you is Tom Ford at Gucci. Tom Ford is an American designer who was snapped up by Gucci in 1994, and he revolutionized the Italian fashion house. And he did that by championing his own unique aesthetic at the end of the 90s, porno-chic. For spring 97, he presented a G-string on both male and female bodies, and even today, that's absolutely shorthand for his aesthetic.
But why 1997? Is it because it's just a few years before the millennium?
In 1997, there was a lot happening in the wider culture. There was notably a very anxious relationship with the body at the time when Dolly the sheep was cloned successfully. And that led in 1997 to the banning of human cloning here in France. You can see just how much designers are sensitive to this question of bodily modification, this idea of the bionic body. And that's also a big topic of conversation in the late 90s with the birth of artificial intelligence, or at least the start of its democratization. You can feel it in the films of the time. They enjoy real success in the wider culture. It's when Titanic came out, the publication of the first Harry Potter book, also the creation of Apple's iMac computer. It's when Google was founded. Today, looking back, you can really see that these are all important reference points. And they all happened in 1997.
The explosion of new technology, the iMac, also meant that Colette, with its new shop, was able to sell online. Is it fair to say that 97 marked the start of online shopping?
1997 was very important as it marked the moment that the world of fashion started to harness the powers of this new media opportunity, the internet. Remember that in 1997, a lot of people and labels were very suspicious of the internet because they were afraid of being copied. They were afraid that having their work all over the internet would mean they'd be plagiarized. Online shopping became a thing in 1997 and then becomes more developed in the early 2000s. But in France, it started with the labels like La Redoute and Les Trois Suisses.
Most of the designers who feature in the exhibition are still alive and still working. So, have they been resting on their laurels for the past 26 years?
A lot of the designers have made sure that their work has evolved since 1997. Martin Margiela had taken a number of different directions since his Stockman collection, whether that be oversize or more of a pure design direction in the middle of the 2000s. Yohji Yamamoto also explored different paths, but always while keeping this sort of nostalgic vision. he still makes certain references to the past that continue to go down very well during Fashion Week.
Do you think that the new generation of designers presenting their work in Paris are finding inspiration from the year 97?
I don't think so. I don't think I felt that. If they are, I've not been seeing it. The idea is that 1997 offered up a riot of different reference points, and then it's about how people freely interpret those for themselves in a creative way. Each and every designer today has their own unique vision to develop, and I hope they'll soon experience something as momentous as 1997 was for the 1990s.
Designers, including a man who had the privilege of being taught by Jean-Paul Gaultier, Victor Weinsanto. It's not hard to see the legacy of 1997 in his work: passion, tenacity, and audacity.